welcome Jacob's Quest, and today, in the middle of everything going on right now, in the middle of an election that just ended, and I'm sure will be the topic of discussion for many weeks to come, some news did drop, some more rumors, and some more drama. Well, this is just rumors. But yeah, Deadline is now talking about the production of spin-offs and early casting for either the next season of The Mandalorian or a possible spin-off. We're gonna go ahead and read into this, and of course, as I always say, this year it's been nothing but drama and rumors, and that trend continues now. So more rumors. This is actually kind of a rumor we've heard before, but let's go ahead and read what they have to say. There's a little bit of an update on it. It says Disney Plus's signature original series The Mandalorian just returned for its second season, which had wrapped production just before the pandemic hit in March. While not officially greenlit, a third season of the hit Star Wars series has been in pre-production for months, with creator, director, and executive producer Jon Favreau publicly stating that he hoped to start filming by the end of 2020. That may be the case, with some sources indicating that production would be starting as soon as next week or in late November, early December, while others point to spring or even fall 2021. The confusion stems from the level of secrecy in the Lucasfilm camp, but persistent chatter could explain the discrepancy. That another Mandalorian-related project/spin-off, I hear possibly a Boba Fett miniseries, would film first, starting next week or later this month, with The Mandalorian Season 3 production coming after that. Okay, so, like they said, we've already heard of Mandalorian Season 3, and Giancarlo Esposito he mentioned a 4 and a 5. I don't know how official that was supposed to be taken, but he, in the middle of an interview, he's like, oh yeah, 4 and 5, when he's talking about seasons of the show, so, that we're probably going to go beyond Season 3. Let's continue. It says, Season 3 of The Mandalorian was recently listed in production weekly with the working title Buccaneer, sparking a guessing game among fans what that moniker may entail. Per usual, Lucasfilm and Disney Plus are keeping mum on details about the new season, including casting. Sophie Thatcher is, I don't know who that actress is. It says, When the Streets Go On and Chicago Med. I've never watched either of those. So, if you're familiar with that actress, then there you go. Is being rumored to be joining the Mandalorian franchise. Nobody is commenting, and there is conflicting information whether she will be part of the Mandalorian's upcoming third season or an offshoot series, or both. And by the way, that's kind of about this idea of the Filoniverse that's kind of been going around for the last year now. We've of course had rumor upon rumor upon rumor, which we'll talk about in a second, of all of these different shows kind of interconnecting and having cameo appearances with various characters. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay. In February, then Disney CEO Bob Iger hinted at the company's plans to expand the Mandalorian franchise with spin-off series, teasing the possibility of infusing the Mothership series with more characters and taking those characters in their own direction in terms of series. So basically, they're going to introduce a bunch of new characters this season, supposedly, which of course I've been talking about forever now. And those are essentially supposed to be backdoor pilots into their own shows. So Ahsoka, everyone from Rebels, Boba Fett, which we're talking about now, and even more. But again, we'll get into that. There is speculation that such a series is in the works and about to start filming, though it is unclear what Mandalorian characters would be spun off and whether Boba Fett is one of them. A recent online report, by the way, if you follow this link, it leads to Kessel Run transmissions, so that's pretty cool, pointed to a potential offshoot featuring Cara Dune and the Star Wars Rebels character Bo-Katan, who has been rumored to appear in Mandalorian's second season. Such a project does not appear to be real, at least for now. Now, they said that. I'm not sure why they said that, because maybe their sources have not mentioned that to them. I don't know why they would put that last sentence in there. It's kind of weird. Adding to the confusion is the fact that Disney Plus is developing a female-centered Star Wars series written and showrun by Leslie Headland, believed to be a female-driven action thriller with martial arts elements, and set in an alternate timeline from the usual Star Wars universe. The rumored spin-off is said to be separate from this Star Wars project, but the situation is fluid. Okay, So about that last part, about this female-centered Star Wars series, we of course know officially that that is happening, at least, that we know Leslie Headland is making something. I hate these advertisements. Anyways, so that is the interesting thing, is that when Kessel Transmissions came out with their report of the Cara Dune and Bo-Katan series, my thing was like, okay, well that might just be the female-centric series that Leslie Headland is making, and I still kind of believe that, although Deadline does not seem to think so. And also I've heard Jordan Mason talk about the martial arts elements in tweets that he's made in the past, so a lot of these rumors are all kind of circling each other now because there's been so many rumors that they're all kind of like, we have all this scattered pieces of information but no confirmations on anything. But basically the takeaway here is that Deadline is, well, one, Sophie Thatcher, this actor, is being hired for some kind of Mandalorian related thing. Either it's a spin-off or it is for season 3, and there is going to be a Mandalorian thing shooting within the next week. Okay, so like next week something's gonna start shooting. They don't know if it's season 3 or if it's a Boba Fett miniseries. Now of course we've heard about the Boba Fett miniseries. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and, what are all the series that we've heard of so far? We've heard of an animated Rebels sequel series. That's the way it was described. We've heard of an Ahsoka live action series. We've heard of a Thrawn and Ezra series, potentially. We've heard of a Darth Maul series. We've heard of a Boba Fett series before. You know, there's a lot of series. Oh, and then of course the Cara Dune and Bo-Katan series. So there's just a lot of series that we keep on hearing about. Oh, and Lando, that was another one. Let me see. Oh, and then Mace Windu, that was another one. So there's just like all of these things that are supposedly happening. And I know that at this point it has to sound like ridiculous. Like, okay, are we just throwing darts and eventually we'll hit a target? You know, like, is that what's happening now? It's definitely starting to feel that way at some points, but that's just because Disney has not come out and confirmed almost anything. The other thing about this, let's see, where was it? It was, yeah, what they're talking about, the Leslie Headland series being in an alternate timeline from the usual Star Wars universe. I think all they mean by that, because I've heard that phrase, alternate timeline, and I feel like when you say that, people are like, oh, what, so is it in a non-canon universe or something? I think all they mean is that it might take place in the past or the distant future, probably the distant past, I would imagine. And if that's the case, if it takes place in the past or some other timeline, then I guess it's not going to be the Cara Dune and Bo-Katan series. So that is one thing about it. So that's just interesting that they use the phrase alternate timeline. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. We got the casting of one actress who I don't know, and we got something is filming in the next week, which we don't know what it is. But yeah, just as usual, what's been going on this entire year, there is stuff being made. Some of these rumors are true. It's just, you know, it's always that thing where it's like different scoopers and leakers, different people who have sources, they're gonna hear some conflicting things, or they're gonna hear something that seems to contradict what someone else heard. The other thing about it, of course, is that behind the scenes, plans are constantly changing. There are probably a dozen different series that at one point or another were under consideration, maybe even got as far as writing and doing concept art, and then at some point were canceled. You know, think about what we know about the movies and how many directors and stuff like that had to keep on coming and going. So you consider that, and then think about all the stuff that we don't know and that doesn't go reported. And then it starts to make sense how we keep on hearing about all these rumored shows and then nothing gets confirmed. It's because like half of these might have gotten canceled by now. You know, like a lot of this stuff doesn't leave the ground. You know, like they're ideas that are on a board somewhere. You know, they hire a couple of writers to like, all right, write like a rough for what this show would be. And then like a month later, someone says, no, we're not going to do it. and then it gets taken off the board. So there's probably a lot of that going on, along with different leakers and scoopers kind of hearing things that seem to contradict each other. So right now, of course, it's all still up in the air, but what do you guys think? What's gonna happen now? Because it seems obvious to me that we are going to see some of these characters, like the Cobb Vanth thing, and Timothy Oliphant and Boba Fett, of course, showing up in, you know, the first episode of Mando, right? Like, obviously, that was true. That was an accurate report that did come true. And I'm absolutely sure that we will see Boba Fett again, because he still has Boba Fett's armor and he's just flying around the galaxy. So I'm positive that we're going to see Boba again. And it definitely seems like the logical thing that they would use all of these appearances as backdoor pilots for their own shows, even if they're just like one season miniseries, kind of like the Obi-Wan show is supposed to be. The only real problem is that, like, we've got a lot of rumors and a lot of reports, and they can't, I guess they could all be true, but it's an awful lot of stuff that we don't have any confirmation on. So I don't know. Hopefully by this time next year, you know, we'll be watching season 3 of Mando, and they'll be like, oh yeah, here's this show and that show's coming out, and here's another show that's coming out, and who knows. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Are you tired of these rumors? Are you tired of just constantly like, okay, it's another rumor, when is something going to get confirmed? Because I definitely feel that at a level, but at the same time, it's like, some of this is going to happen eventually. Maybe one day. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.